All right, what's up, everybody? It's Maisha Edmond, licensed cosmetologist in the state of New York. Also, I am a certified trichologist and your most favorite trichology business strategist. It is it Friday yet? No, it's Thursday. It is Thursday, and we are on day 3. We are going to wrap up our 3-day trichology reboot. So, if you are somebody that is a trichologist, you are a new or improving trichologist. If you are a healthy hair care stylist and you're like, okay, I really want to look at rebooting the trichology portion of my business, or if you are a full trichologist and you're like, you know what, I did all the things, I was excited, it was great, but I kind of lost my way. It started getting busy. People started wanting um, regular styles or regular services, or I priced myself too low, and now people don't really respect or want what I'm offering. Then this is for you. Today is the third and final day, and we are going to be talking about pricing. So if you are somebody that is a trichologist and you're saying, okay, I really need to look at my pricing. How am I pricing the services that I have? Then you are in for a treat, I guess, right? So let's just kind of go over what we talked about for the last 2 days. First day was like mostly foundation. We're looking at the common types of hair loss that we see behind the chair: androgenetic, alopecia areata, telogen effluvium, CCCA, and why do I always forget the last one that I always will get it? Okay. So you have all of those, right? So we have like those regular things, or the most common occurrences that we see, right? And so we see those common occurrences, and we have to really look at how are we going to service these clients, right? What's the best way? They are so loud out there. What's the best way for you to service a client? You're not presenting trichology, run of the mill, hey, do you want a treatment, right? If you're looking to really be a trichologist, you are looking at, let me see, traction alopecia. Okay, so it came up on my screen, traction alopecia. Okay, so let's do that again. Androgenetic alopecia, areata, telogen effluvium, traction, and CCCA, which is central centrifugal cicatricial alopecia, right? So you see a lot of these things, and people are trying to get help. And you're like, okay, well, maybe I didn't present it the right way before. Maybe, when I first became a trichologist, or when I was doing it before, what happened was I started to just kind of like over commercialize it. I could grow your hair back. Use this, use that. Here's these products. I got these tools, like that whole thing. Let me see. I don't know what that means. Okay. Oh, I didn't do my regular housekeeping. I am live on Facebook and YouTube. I'm also live on Instagram, psychology_911. And I am live for the third day on TikTok, which is new to me. Okay. So anyway, you started to kind of like trivialize trichology and what you're offering to these clients. It is almost June. Do you see this hoodie I got on? Because, child, somebody turned off the heat. It is cold in New York and it's raining. Anyway, so you start to like kind of like over trivialize trichology. What are you offering clients, right? Then you kind of like get into this thing, and it's like, well, maybe I need to join this group, and maybe I need to buy this, and maybe I need to be a part of this membership. And you kind of skipped over what was the important thing, like what you wanted to offer. What type of trichologist did you want to be? What kind of trichology were you offering? Let me just move this so I can see. Okay. What kind of trichologist did you want to be? Did you want to be one that was mostly like for cranial prosthetics? Or did you want to be a holistic and nutritional trichologist? Did you want to be a preventative care trichologist, someone that didn't really have like a whole lot of hair loss clients, but you had people that were really excited to keep what they had and to just take care of what they had. So many different things. But now you get to the part of pricing. And this is always like such a big thing, especially when I do like my private sessions, when I do like my powwows and different things like that. I think I'm going to have a powwow tomorrow night. Um, but when I do my powwows, this is where we kind of like let our hair down and just kind of talk about the things that are important to us as far as trichology business. This is the way you can really be vulnerable and say, listen, I don't even really know why this works, why I'm using this, what is going on, like how do I make this make sense? How do I make this make money? How do I make this make sense to the clients that are coming in? How do I present this? And just kind of like reposition yourself. So that's what we do in the powwow. So when you get to this point in your trichology practice where you're starting to look at pricing, this is when it gets crazy, because a lot of times I will see new trichologists or even improving trichologists start to underprice, right? And I know like we have like this whole thing, like there's like a group that I'm in on Facebook that like, like they have like, it's like for Long Island. And so they'll say like, oh, somebody tag or recommend a reasonable stylist, or I need somebody that helps with alopecia. Tag a reasonable person that that helps with alopecia. And it's like, first of all, reasonable is relative, right? Reasonable is relative. And I don't want you to get to the point where you are lowballing yourself. Now, if you know what you offering ain't worth all of that, then that's something else. But then you're not offering it, right? You're only really offering those things that you know and that you have vetted and you really have built up, right? But like I said, reasonable is relative, which means that if there's somebody now you know that what you're offering, excuse me, is worth it, and you know that what you're offering works, and then you have gotten results, then and people are saying, well, that's too much, or why I gotta do that? Why don't you just? It ain't nothing but all of that right there. Then you're talking to the wrong people. You're not talking to the people that deserve your services, for lack of better words, right? So let me show you this, right? So I got this essential lotion thing for one of my clients, right? Now let's pretend like this is a bottle of water. Okay. I was like, let's go to the Dollar Tree. Let's get this bottle of water, the $1.25 tree. It's $1.25, right? Take the same bottle of water and go to a really nice hotel, and the water is $5 to $10 for this, right? For this little piece of this little bit of water, right? You take this same bottle of water that was $1.25, that was $5 to $10, and put it in the Sahara Desert where there's no water, and it is worth your life at this point, right? So this is how you have to think about your services. Where are you positioning it? You don't have to break down your services so cheap that then it's not worth anything. You never see anybody with red bottoms keep their feet flat on the floor when they're sitting down. They're gonna cross them ankles and let you know I spent $700, $900, $1,500 on these shoes, right? So it's like the same thing, but it has to be worth it. It has to absolutely be worth it. What are you doing? What are you offering? What kind of trichologist are you? Do you know your lane? Know your stuff. And then we get to pricing. Look at consultation. For me, my consultation, it may seem pricey to some, but I don't believe that it is. For example, when I first started, I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll do a consultation, and I know I'm doing all these different analysis and different things like that. Maybe I'll do $47. I love the good 47, 97, 107, 77, right? So I would do that, and I would spend so much time and give so much effort and so much information, which is not bad, but I wasn't properly compensating myself, right? Hey, Zay. So that's really, really important for you to understand that you have paid so much money. You have spent thousands of dollars and thousands of hours, hundreds of hours, really studying if you did, right? And even if you went to a school or you did a program that was online and didn't necessarily have like all the bells and whistles and all that other stuff, it's a good starting point. You still have the opportunity to say, okay, well, this is where I started, but this is what I'm going to really cultivate, and then go from there. So now you're looking at your pricing. Think about just like these different things. One of the different things, oh, you know what? I do have something, but I don't think that y'all going to be able to see it. When I'm done, I'm going to have this ebook available for you to buy, $15. But you'll be able to kind of like go through all of the things that I'm talking about, and you can just kind of write out your own pricing plan. Let me just put this up here. I don't know. I'm not going to share it like to see, but I'm going to make sure that you guys get this information. Hold on. So if you feel like you are really like not pricing properly, then you really want to like kind of get into what I'm talking about. Okay. So let's get into it. So pricing as a trichologist, right? Pricing as a trichologist is going to be different from how we price our regular services as a hairstylist, right? It's definitely going to be different, right? Because, or our salon services, because things that should be factored into pricing as a trichologist might be at a greater scale, right? So we'll begin to notice that the time spent with the client is not a great factor, but we value the results that we get from the client, that we get for the clients. So what am I saying? So like I may have a service that's like 15 minutes, right? But the thing that the service does is so great. It saved the client time. They came in, let me see, for example, I remember when I was contemplating getting this, right? And so this is an electroporation line. I remember contemplating getting this. Now I was like, Lord, I don't know. It's $900, but it also has you got to buy a certain amount of products and certain kinds of products to use it, right? So I'm not electroporation wand. I don't know if y'all can see it over here. You can see it on YouTube and Facebook. You can see it on TikTok. You can see it on Instagram, right? And I'm like, well, that's $900, and then I got to get like the products and all the other stuff. And I was like, man, I don't know. But literally, it works so fast and it's so thorough that at first I was going to price it. I'm like, oh, well, it's only, and then they'll only be here for 15 minutes. And it's like, no, Maisha, the same thing that you would have had to do, the three things that you would have had to do, and the longer amount of time that you would have had to spend to get the results that this gives the client is cut down tremendously. And because it's cut down, that's worth the money. Right. So while you may, let me exaggerate, while you may have paid $60 for something else, right? 15 minutes, you can do this on lunch, right? For your client, they get results. You mix their concoction, basically, give them this, give them their treatment for when they leave, and you could charge $260 for a session. It doesn't matter. Like, do you know what you're doing? Do you understand what you are offering? Do you understand what the client is going to be receiving? Then that's what's important, right? So I was able to just kind of pull that together and say, okay, Maisha, Don't feel like, don't charge, don't be crazy, right? But also don't charge where you're saying, uh, well, they got kids and they got this and they got that. I'll tell you one thing about trichology. It is a luxury, it's a luxury, but very needed service, right? So you might not be like when I first started, like I said yesterday, and I charged $1,100 for a 16-week program. So I basically was like making like $57 a week, but not even that. I pretty much ended up like paying the client for coming to me because I was not charging for the hair color I was putting on her hair. I was not charging for different tracks and all kind of stuff like that because I was just so surprised that this lady would pay this this money. So I was just kind of like, oh shoot, let me give her whatever. If she bring a baby for me to rock, I'm gonna rock the baby, right? So that's where I was. But you really want to look at your how you are going to price. Okay, let's go to the next thing. The next thing is with price. Price helps us to understand what our value is, right? How much is your time worth? How much is your skill worth? How much is your expertise worth? Right? I'm gonna say that again. Price is gonna help us to understand what our value is, right? How much is your time worth? If I sat with you for 3 days because I wanted micro braids. How much is your time worth? What things did you have to cut out doing? What things did you have to set aside? What arrangements did you have to make? Did you have to like set up to get a babysitter? What are the things that that you had to do? Right? Ooh, I don't want this to fall. So that's going to be important. So how much is your time worth? How much is your skill worth? How much did you pay to learn these skills, right? How much did you pay? How much time did it take for you to cultivate these skills? And then how much is your expertise worth? Yes, you have the skill, but now you are an expert. You have studied a certain amount of hours. You have started to put this thing into action, and now you really know what you're doing. How much is that worth to you? Okay. The next thing is understanding price. You have to understand that time in pricing concerning trichology is not like in the salon, right? It's not like in the salon. Like I said before, it may take you only 15 minutes to complete a trichology service, but that doesn't make it $15, right? Price with the time spent to gain knowledge in mind, right? You're going to price with the time spent to gain the knowledge. You're going to keep that in mind. Okay. So that's going to be really important. Again, something that takes you 15 minutes in the trichology space is not going to cost $15 because it's only 15 minutes. You have to look at what it's doing, the results that the client is going to get, and that whole thing, right? So that's going to be really, really important. The next thing is you have to understand that there are two types of pricing strategies, right? You have your prestige pricing and you have your anchor pricing. So let me just explain that to you really, really quick. So like your prestige pricing is pricing strategy that uses like higher prices to suggest quality and exclusivity. And I'm all for it. I love a little quality and exclusivity. I don't allow people to kind of like just come to you can't just walk in, because I wouldn't want somebody with hair loss to be seen in that way, where people are just coming in. But also, I love exclusivity because I don't want it to be a dime a dozen. There are so many trichologists, but at the same time, they're not that many, but they're not that many good trichologists. They're not that many like expert trichologists. So when you think about people working like even on a professional scale, you don't really see that. And so I price for exclusivity. And it's just something about, you ever notice like the person they pay the least want the most? And I'm talking to the pros here, right? You ever see that people that pay the least want the most? It's like you done paid these $2 for these braids, and you like, take them out because the baby hair is not, you know what I'm saying? But then it's like people that understand what they're trying, what they're getting, and what they want. They pay the price, and they just have an expectation that you're going to do right by that. You know what I'm saying? So that is really, really something that you have to look at. So are you going to do prestige pricing, or do you do anchor pricing? Anchor pricing puts a higher price product as the anchor to draw people to the middle offer. And that's kind of like a marketing thing. So, you know, like you got like those three little sections, and then they have $19, they have $2,400, and then they got $500. And it's like best offer. So that's like something that you just kind of look at right there, right? All right. Then also, so my question is like, which one are you, right? Are you somebody that's going to do prestige pricing? So prestige pricing is going to set your marketing tone by offering very high services, right? But it got to be worth it. Come on now. You're not going to say, well, I'm a trichologist and I wear this white coat and I do this and that, so you're going to pay me, $1 million. Your anchor is going to draw attention to your most wanted product by offering something much more and something much less, right? So you're going to kind of like frame your offers. And then you got to remember this: desperate chases clients to give. But let me say this the right way. So basically, desperation, or when you're desperate, it chases clients away, right? Because you're giving away services for free in hopes that somebody will come to you. Do anybody remember that? Where you would literally be like, this is only $15. Please come to me. Tell somebody, I need 5 models. I need 5 models to try this, whatever that I just learned from class. And I'm going to do it for free, but you got to tell such and such. Sometimes you just can't do that, right? Because if I know I could get it for sale, then I'm going to just wait you out. There's going to be times you're going to start to get desperate, and then you're going to put that thing back down to $15, and that's when I'm going to come in. I'm never going to pay you your price, right? I'm never going to pay you your price. Okay. I don't know who that is. So I'm never going to pay you your price. And so you want to make sure that you are pricing properly. I don't have any specific because I'm not speaking to people that have questions about pricing, but I do know of some trichologists that may charge like $97 for their consultation, and then they take the $97 off of the total price of the treatment plan if the person gets the treatment plan. But if they don't, then they just paid the $97. I know people that do it for a little more. And then there's another strategy that I like is okay, so my consultation is $300. But when you come in, you're getting the Zyto scan. I'm looking at the analysis. I'm looking at the blood work. I'm looking at your nutrition, your supplementation, all those things, right? Breaking all that stuff down, really coming up with a plan. When you leave, you get a copy of your analysis and really what you should be doing as far as your blood type. I do all of those things, and that's it. You can take my analysis in my consultation to any professional that you decide to go to that is not me, and you can still use that information. They could use it to cultivate a treatment plan for you based on the information that I've gained from your consultation. So I don't take off on the treatment plan for that, because I feel like you can take this anywhere, right? But then there's also, I know of one person that does the consultation. They do all the things, and it includes a follow-up. So they'll say, okay, and now come back. This includes your follow-up. Come back to me in a month so that I can check on you or see the progress or just see where you are based on what I have given you. So that's really big. So when you're looking at pricing in that way, you have to decide, is it going to be something like more prestigious, or is it going to be something that like is more of a low hanging fruit? Hey, Calm is only $97, or hey, it's free and you can, get this information. And if you want to go further, you can. And if you don't, then that's fine as well. Also, you have to look at treatments. Now, this is kind of like tricky. Treatment plan pricing, right? What are you like? Again, what type of trichologist are you? Are you more of a coach? Are you saying, hey, get this, buy this, do this, put this on this 3 times, and then you're done? Or are you somebody that's going to kind of like walk them through? Are you somebody that has a dry clinic or a wet clinic? Even if you have a dry clinic, which is like you don't really do treatments in house, you still can offer some treatments. Like you can do like the photodynamic therapy, you can do the CIT, you can do like things that don't involve like you bringing the client to the bowl, which is absolutely fine. And then that kind of like raises your stock as it relates to having a dry clinic, because then after you do all those things, they could come in for scoping and all that other stuff. And you don't have to have a sink. You can actually partner with other stylists that, okay, when these people come see you, then you've already sent over, hey, this is what the client needs, blah, blah, blah. They're coming with the kit that they need to use as far as shampoo and conditioner for this amount of time. Let me know if you have any questions, which is absolutely like amazing. So you want to do stuff like that as well. Okay. So when you're looking at your pricing, you have to look at the time that you're going to spend, the desired results, even your area, and the type of people that you want to attract, right? So those things are going to be really, really big. You want to attract the right people. You want to be a fit for the client, and you want the client to be a fit for you. All right. Okay. So that's 3 days of just information for you to reboot your trichology practice. I really want you to know that if you are a trichologist, you are absolutely needed. People need you. There are people that are losing their hair. I mean, they are stressed out. They're talking about economy. They're talking about kids. They're talking about loss. They're talking about grief, all kinds of things. And it shows up. Remember, the hair is the barometer for the body. So you are absolutely important. You are going to be somebody that is needed. You're going to be somebody that's needed. I'm going to be having some powwows. I have some ebooks. I have some treatment plan templates. I have all the things. You can definitely reach out to me and let me know what you need. What are your questions? I have strategy sessions. I'm able to really just kind of like revamp your trichology practice in a way that is going to fit you. Trichology is not cookie cutter, just like hair loss is not cookie cutter. You don't have to do everything that everybody else was doing. You can do 2 good things and be wildly successful. You can do all the things and nobody come and see you. Right? So you really want to get in a position where you're able to just hone in on what is important to you, how you want to help people, and how you will be most effective. I hope I've helped you over these last 3 days. I will be seeing you again because I got a lot to talk about. All right. Have a great day today. Happy hair growing, and I'll see you guys soon.